Hello, welcome everyone to the Dancing Oracle with Najia. I want to tell you about a dream, a bunch of dreams, the same dream that I had 40 years ago. And I was always trying to figure it out because I knew the dream was taking place in the future. I even talked to one of my coworkers about it, photographer named Jack, and we would try to figure out what is going on in the future to allow this these things to happen, that life would be so different. And I'm seeing some things on YouTube that relate to my dream. And one is on the scientific end, I'm seeing things. And then among a lot of psychics and channelers are saying something about the big flash of light. All right, so first, let me tell you about my dream. I'm in the future, and the first thing I notice is cars don't make any noise. And I would just see cars going down the road, and there's a couple of cars, that's it. Like sometimes it's one car, sometimes this is the same car coming back or a different car, because I'd have the dream repeatedly. But it would always start out with a car going down the road that makes no noise. Well, we're used to that now. There's lots of EVs out on the road now. In fact, I have one. They don't make any noise. It's fantastic. And they don't pollute my garden on the driveway. So I love it. But back then, 40 years ago, I couldn't imagine a car that didn't make noise because they're so loud. I even used to drive a diesel car, diesel fuel back then. So this was quite different. And then the next thing that happened was I noticed the atmosphere looked different. Not a whole lot different, but a little shinier, sparklier. It's subtle. It's the kind of thing a psychic or an artist would notice, but it would be so subtle that somebody who doesn't study light, like I do, I've been studying light since I'm very young, formally and informally. um, but someone who studies light would understand those subtleties in the shifts and all the little patterns that light makes, all the little crystalline patterns in the air. So I'm not sure if everyone would see it. And the really big thing that's crazy is there would be two suns in the sky at the same time. So at first, when I see, every time I had this dream, it's it's like I'm having it for the first time. It's not like I can continue part two, part three. I'm literally starting fresh every time I would have this dream many years ago. I haven't had it in decades. So I wish I would have it again and I could notice more. But I'm going by my memory of first seeing two suns in the sky and thinking, is that the moon and the sun? The moon over there and the sun over there? And I realized, no, it's not the moon, because when the moon is in the sky at the same time, they're on opposite ends of the sun. Just like when you go down to the beach, you'll see moon rise and sunset, and they look completely different. The sun setting takes on an orange hue, the moon rise is really pale when it first comes out till it gets dark and glows more because it's only reflected light. It doesn't have any light of its own. I don't think everyone realizes the moon is only a mirror. It's a fill card for anyone who worked in photography or video. It's a fill card. It's a mirror. It has no light of its own. It only lights up because the sun is shining on it. And when the sun sets, then all that light that the sun shined on the moon is now visible because the sun is so big, even when we see darkness, because the sun is on, because our earth is on the other side rotating, that sun is still shining on that moon 24/7, no matter what. It's shining there no matter what the moon looks like. And this, what I saw clearly wasn't a moon, although at first I thought maybe. One thing is that it had light of its own. It had the brightness of a sun. And the other thing was it was too close to the sun. It's not like, oh, the moon moved closer to the sun. It was only like a quarter of the pie away, maybe 90 degrees instead of 180. So I always think about this because electric cars came true, cars without noise. And I think, is there going to be two suns in the sky in my lifetime? And then I heard scientists speak about Betelgeuse, a supernova in the constellation Orion. Excuse me, I'm late. And one of the scientists was speaking on a late night show. Another scientist was speaking on the news that this may actually happen in our lifetime because in 2019, in 2019, Betelgeuse was dimming, and it was dimming a lot. And then recently it got brighter. So it looks like in our lifetime, we're going to be witnessing a supernova event. Now, the light that is traveling to us is from 650 years ago. So this star could have died already several hundred years ago in the Middle Ages, and we're just now seeing the light, all that heat reaching us from way back when in history. But the light will be seen. The one scientist said it will look like, guess what? Two suns are in the sky, and it won't just be for that day. It'll be for years. It could be years. It could be months. It could be years. That could be even 10 years that it looks like there's another sun in the sky next near our sun. And I believe, oh, let me see. I did take some notes. Let me look if I can see them for you. So it's 8 times, Betelgeuse is 8 times more massive than our own sun. And that if this event happens, it would engulf the orbit of Mercury and Venus, and it would come really close to Earth. So there's also another possibility of a supernova event with another binary orbiting system near a red giant star called Nova T Corona Borealis 3. So that's another possibility, but Betelgeuse is the one that would look like there is another sun in the sky. And I keep thinking about what all the channelers and people on the YouTube, really, really wonderful channelers, people I have a lot of respect for. I will put their links in my notes later when I have a moment. But Ann Tucker is one. You can look her up. And there's a Canadian woman who I really like. And there is, she will do talks with her friend and talk about that. And there's been several channelers who I'm not as familiar with, all talking about this big flash of light. And Anne's angels refer to it as the day everyone will look back when everything changed. Life will change completely because we're going to feel an elevation within us And some people are going to be really welcoming it, but some people aren't quite prepared to handle that amount of light coming into them. Depends on the state of your mind and your spirit, how you're dealing with your spirituality. But says, they both say, overall, it's really good, but it's going to feel like a major shock. And they all say that when this flash of light happens, it doesn't matter if you're indoors, down the subterranean basement, you will feel the light. Everyone will feel the light. And I wonder, is this when Betelgeuse goes supernova? And is that the two suns in the sky that I see in the future? In a day, in my dream, when there's more electric cars than there are, there's electric cars going right by me, making no noise. And I will say that whenever I have this dream, this is something that happens after. So my dream is in the future, past the event. And everything feels really peaceful. So I don't feel any turmoil. I'm sure when things first happen, it's going to feel weird because it's going to be such a shock to people. I have a feeling everything will shut down. I did another video about the clairaudience I had a couple years ago when COVID time was preparing everyone for a time further in the future when things really change and shut down. And COVID was almost a way for us to set up our lives in a way that could handle the upcoming bigger changes. I'm not sure what those changes are. It could be another virus. It could be this supernova event. It could have a huge effect on the planet. I would imagine having two suns. One would be a sun that's alive, our sun, and one would be something that looks like a sun but is actually dead, that died hundreds of years ago and whose light is reaching us. So it'd be, I'm sure that would disrupt a lot of electronics and people's work, and we may have another lockdown. But Anne and a lot of the other psychics are talking about going into this cocoon phase where you just want to absorb the light. And some people talk about that phase as being 3 days of darkness. Another channeler says it's not like things get really dark. It's just that everything got so bright. It's like being out in really bright sunlight, and then you go in the house and you can't see sometimes. Everything seems really dark because your eyes got exposed to extreme light and they have to adjust. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you about my dream, and I would turn you on to some of the other psychics and channelers out there that are all getting this information. I'd love for you to watch some of their videos as a way to prepare for life changing and prepare your spirit, prepare for changes. Make sure you have what you need so you don't go into panic mode. And not to worry, because all of them say it's going to be making things better. In the end, it's going to make everything better because consciousness will be elevated, the earth will be elevated. It's going through a lot of changes. And it will be the birth of a new era, of a new special being coming onto our planet to raise and hold the energy. So it sounds exciting. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I may not get to answer all of you because I'm going through some hand issues. I can't even do tarot readings today because my hands are really suffering from answering too many comments and typing and texting and I'm trying to avoid a couple surgeries right now, but I will hit the like button, the love button, and you'll know that I saw your comment. And it would help if you hit the like button so this video can get out to more people, to allow them to be aware that things are going to change soon in a very big way. I feel it soon because I'm feeling it in my body for months. My body's been having a hard time with the energy changing. So if your body's having a hard time with the shift in energy that's coming, I'd also like to hear from you, whether you're a psychic, an intuitive, or you're just learning to look into intuition for the first time in your life. I'd love to hear what you're experiencing. And if you know any great links of other people that are talking about this information, please share it in the comments section. And subscribe is free. Take care. Have a good day. We'll do a reading on this in the future when my hands are working. I'll do a nice tarot reading maybe next week, all right, on all these world changes and all my dreams. Just now I gotta recover. I gotta recover from communicating with everybody. I gotta find the stop record button. Where is it? There it is. Bye.